Hello. Let's do this. Hello guys, here is Emmanuel from DiceTuga, and today we are doing the usual end of the month video, in this case for the month of March, where I tell a little bit what happened this month, which games that I played, and March was full of adventure because, you know already from my social networks and my previous video, I went to LeiriaCon. But before we talk about LeiriaCon, go make yourself a tea, because this video is going to be a bit long. And oh, I know. I actually washed and opened this cup just for this video. So go, I'll wait. No, seriously. Get up and go make yourself a tea. Done? All right. So first I'm going to talk about the games that I played outside of LeiriaCon, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about LeiriaCon. So this month started well. I was able to play with my group, and I received some games. So definitely not the month that I didn't purchase any game. I definitely did. And the first one that arrived, and I was very excited about it, was Final Girl. Final Girl is a game published by Boardgames. I received Season 1, I'm still waiting for Season 2, and yeah, it was a solo-only game that I was very excited since it was announced. Very curious how a solo game can be so massive. Basically, in the game, you are the final girl in an horror movie and you need to defeat the bad guy. So imagine the movie Scream or Halloween. You have the final girl, the girl that survives in the end or not. And you have these guys that are the bad guys that kill people. I have no idea what are their names because I don't watch too many horror movies. But yeah, I was very excited to see how it works because every box or every VHS has a different enemy and a different location. So you can mix and match different locations with different enemies and with different final girls. So now I received Season 1. Season 2 is on the way. So it will be just more content, and I have no idea where I'm going to put it on my Calyx. But I really enjoy the game. It's a really good solo game and very challenging. It's Final Girl, it was very hyped. I kind of backed a little bit on the hype wave, but I'm reassured because I really enjoyed the game. So that was the first one, Final Girl. Second game was kind of a revisit to the past. Last year I bought this game. I had it already for a year and a couple of months. Picked up this game, picked up the rule book in Portuguese, read through it, read the rules of solo, and I was like, this game is super complex. The solo mode is a completely different game. And the other day, I picked it up because I was like, I need to play this game at least once, otherwise I'm going to sell it. And there was a new expansion available, so I was like, I wanted to see why so many people were talking about this game. So I pick it up, I read the rules in English this time, and I was like, what the hell was going on with me last year? This game is super intuitive, makes sense, very easy action. The mechanism in the middle, it's very nice, and it's better for me to tell you which game it is. It's Red Cathedral by designed by Isra and Shay. It's a couple of designers. In this case here, published by De Veer. I love the game. I mean, this system in the middle, the rondel, if you want to call it like that, is just, I love it. The dice placement on it and everything, I just love it. So all of this, it's great. It's delightful. And I was like, okay, I simulated a two-player game. Then I decided, let me check the solo. And the solo, I was like, again, what was wrong with me? It has no flow chart whatsoever. You just need to shuffle the solo cards, place them in a certain sequence, and just do the action that is in that sequence. That's it. Super simple. And I was like, I had a problem or something, because this game is awesome. I really like it. It's, for me, a family game. It's a 1 to 4 player. They recommend 10 plus. I think that's the age. I don't know, maybe 8 could do it. And yeah, it's super fast solo. It might have some AP depending on the player, but solo it's super fast, and yeah, totally recommend it. And yeah, of course, I had to. I mean, I really enjoy the game, and when I do enjoy the game, since it's so simple, so easy to learn. I always get curious how a game can grow in difficulty and complexity with its expansion. So I don't have any problem with it. I'm going to try the expansion and see how it goes. So the second game that I played was Red Cathedral, and it was a nice revisit. And no, I'm not going to sell it. So I totally recommend, go check it. Third game was played within my group with Orlando and Thomas. And yeah, it was a game that I wanted to play already for a while, because it said that it's one of the most accessible games from this designer. Yes, I'm talking about Vital Lacerda, and it's Vinhos. So I really enjoy the game. I mean, that's all I have to say. It flowed super well with 3 players. Everything made sense. Plus, it's the map of Portugal. It was the new edition, not the oldest one. So the board has 2 sides. One is more complex than the other. And the one that I played was more accessible. I don't need to be playing all the time hard brain burner games. My life is already enough to do that. Don't need a game to do so. Sometimes it's nice to have a challenge, but when you have already enough challenge at work or on your private life or so on, you don't need a game to put that layer. Sometimes you just need to relax. And Vinhos was very smooth. Not that it was easy, because it isn't, but the rules were not hard to learn. The game made total sense on the actions that you were doing and and everything that you were trying to develop. So really enjoy the game. Design Eagle Griffin, so nothing to say about it. And it's probably my favorite game of Vital Lacerda. I already played Lisboa, I already played on Mars. Vital Lacerda alone, okay? So Vinhos is probably one that is coming to my collection. And yeah, I cannot wait to try it solo, because I heard it also works pretty well. So that's it. The third one, Vinhos from Vital Lacerda. Then we finished Vinhos, and there was not a lot of time for us to play another big game. So we had to fill up the time with a filler. And Orlando had pre-ordered Scout. And I was like, oh, that's that game that is super hyped and that everybody's talking about. All that I see when I see people playing it, it's a bunch of cards. I don't know. It looks like Uno. I don't think it's really my thing. But Orlando I said, let's open it and see it. And we played that game 3 times in 1 hour. And it was awesome. It was so awesome that I got it. So Scout, it's a card game published by Oink Games. It works well 2 players, it works well 3 players, it works well 4, it works well 5. And basically, by the way, this comes already pre-punched. You don't have to punch anything. And I can do a quick tutorial on how the game works. Basically, you have 11 cards in your hand. You have this sequence, and you have to respect this sequence. You cannot take one card and put it in the middle. No, you need to choose the upper part or the down part and play the game with this sequence. And then you just need to be able to make a bigger sequence or pair than your opponent. And that's how you win the game. It's so simple. The rules, this is like extremely easy. I teach this game to my dad, that is not a person that plays game at all. Probably it was the first board game that he ever played. and it's not really a board game, it's a card game, but I teach him, everything made sense, and he even almost won one of the games. So it makes sense. The theme, actually, I have no idea. The theme is you are building a spectacle, like a show, you know, and you have different artists, but sorry, but the theme could be cows eating grass in the mountains. It would work as well. So yeah, this one, guys, get it. This is 20 euros, that's what I paid. Small box, perfect for holidays, perfect to have always in your pocket for you to play with your friends when there is some dead time, and it's great. So totally deserves the hype and gets 100% recommendation. Go get it, it's cheap and it's very entertaining. That's Scout by Oink Games. And now the cherry on top of the cake, we are going to talk about LeiriaCon, more specifically about the games that I played at LeiriaCon. I already made a video to show you a bit the locations, so now I'm just going to talk about the experience and with whom I played these games, which always matters and actually matters the most. The people were very cool, very awesome, and if it wasn't the people, the game was not worth. So all the people that I played with was an awesome experience, and I cannot wait to play all different games, maybe with all of them again. So LeiriaCon, I arrived there on Thursday, already quite late because I was taking care of some VIP people that have a delayed flight, but still I could still enjoy some board games that day. The first one I played with Danielle and Caroline. They have a board game page on Instagram that is called the BG Collector, so go follow them. And we played Bot Factory from João Quintela Martins. João Quintela Martins, that's for you, Carolina. And Vital Lacerda. Bot Factory, it's a game that I played already 5 times. The other times I played on Tabletopia. There's even a video of me playing it, so you can also look here on the channel and you'll find it. Playing it and explaining it, I think. So go check it out. It's a very nice game. I'm waiting for my copy. But it was great to try a physical copy there at LeiriaCon. And yeah, I had to consult the rules time to time, but the main idea and the main rules, they were still present in my head, and so it was just like a refresh. So the rules are very simple. We played a 3-player game, works very well. I played already a 2-player game, works very well. Never played 4, so I don't know. And solo works also super well. So, and 3, 2, and 1 just works for me. It's perfect. It's more than enough. And everything makes sense. So Danielle is a fan of Kanban, and he told, and a lot of people give that feedback, that this game reminds them a lot of Kanban. But it's not because of that they didn't enjoy this game. They see it as a more streamlined version of Kanban, but still enjoyable. Like, for example, there is Sandra, that is one of the meeples from Kanban, and so that makes this nice connection. So yeah, you have basically 4 boards. You have the first board where you build the robots. Basically, the goal is to build robots and to have a maximum of robots in your side. And you have the first board where you can build the robots by placing on the building line pieces of the robots. Then you have the second part where you can collect pieces of those robots so that you can place it on the other board. You have a third part where you can have the plans for the blueprints for those robots. So without a blueprint, you cannot create a robot. And then you have the final, the fourth board where you can increase the value of a robot, and you can also get some contracts so that you can have more victory points at the end. Love the game. I find that it will work with different ages. I cannot wait to try to play it with my daughter, and so totally recommend. It's a great game from João Quintela Martins and Vital Lacerda, and published by Eagle Griffin Games. Second game of LeiriaCon was played with Orlando Sá, Rui and Joana. We played all together Cube Express. It's a game that I designed by Orlando Sá, and it's a game that I already played at VianaCon. Basically, the first time I saw it, I thought this was some kind of Carcassonne, and I was like a bit worried because, yeah, Carcassonne. But it's not. So it's kind of it's a card game that you have railroads or railways on those cards. You have cards that have stations, you have cards that have that produce goods, and you have cards where you can deliver contracts. And so you build it, and every time, for example, every time someone passes in an area that that produces goods, but it's owned by you, you increase your value on your board. If someone passes by your station, they need to drop one of their passengers in your station, and it's very difficult to explain to you without you visualizing. So I don't want to create confusion, but it's just a game, very simple. The rules are very straightforward and very tight, you know, and I like that about the game. It's like sometimes you want to do this action, there is a small thing that is missing that doesn't allow you to do it, and you're like, ah! And I really like that on games, and I feel it a lot. And this is a very small game. It's like, I don't know how it will be boxed, but it's very easy to set up and to start playing. That feeling of I was almost there. It's something that I find out that I really enjoy in games. So pay attention to it. Cube Express, designed by Orlando Sá. Then the last game of Thursday, of my first day, was a game that João Jota from the channel Met na Mesa also has Instagram page, so go follow him, go check it out. He does only Portuguese content, but if you're Portuguese, go have a look. He threatened me with a knife, and he said, come and... No, I'm joking. We just decided to go play a game that is called Akropolis. And you know me with, or maybe you don't, but then you'll find out now, me and tile placement games, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And man, I was surprised. This was a freaking fast game. Like, I think we were done in 15-20 minutes, not more. It's super fast. We were only 2 players, but basically you need to build a city, okay? I think it's a Greek city, at least from the cover. It looks like Greek. It looks Greek. And the tiles, you need to place them basically according to their color. So you are not forced to, but all the colors have a different way of scoring. So for example, I don't remember the colors and their conditioning for winning, for making points, but I think, like, for example, blue, if by the end of the game you have a big sequence of blue tiles, you score a lot of points. You had the red tiles that needed to be, if you wanted, in the borders of the city, and that makes, again, a lot of points. If you have a red tile in the middle of the city, that doesn't count as anything. Then you different ways of making points with different tiles really made you like you had to think, but it was so fast that you're like, okay, I have blue here, so I'll place it here. And I have red here, I need to place it on the board. Let me check where I can, okay, here it works. Okay, but then I need to build, I mean, it was fast thinking, fast playing. You have like 4 tiles in the market. You can take the first one for free, and the other ones you need to pay with stone. But then those 4 tiles are used, and you pick other random 4 tiles, and it goes until there is no more tiles. And then in the end, you just do the scoring according to the colors. and it was super fast. I understand why people have been talking about it, and it's a perfect family game. I think I could even play with my 5-year-old daughter. I think she would already understand, but yeah, didn't, and maybe I will. We will see. So this was the third and last game of the first day in LeiriaCon, Akropolis. Let me let me have a drink, because what I'm about to talk now, I need a drink. Yeah, I'm trying to make you jealous. Don't worry. Day 2 at LeiriaCon. Man, this was a game that was planned already since VianaCon. So we planned this in October of last year. And I've been reminding this group, we will play this at LeiriaCon, we will play this at LeiriaCon. And we did! And it was epic. I played this game with Tiago and Sara from the channel Jogamos. And the game that we played was epic. Not only because of the game, but because of the group. I played with Tiago, Sara, and their friend Nuno, awesome guy as well. And we played Twilight Imperium 4th edition! Yes! Finally! I mean, what an experience. It was a 6-hour game. And the best thing was that Sara almost got to the 10 points. So if you don't know, actually, you need to make 10 victory points on this game in order to be able to win. And it seems quite short, right? 10 victory points. The game lasts 6 hours. 6 hours. We were 4 players. And the goal is to make 10 points. By doing what? By doing objectives, hidden objectives, so your personal objectives, or public objectives. And so by doing those, you will be able to increase your points. Sara was at 9 points most of the game. And I was also in second place most of the game. I was like almost winning as well. And suddenly Nuno starts producing army and boom, boom, boom. Destroyed everything. Conquered the system of Sara. She could do nothing. And you know, before that happened, I had a friend coming by and saying, so, more or less, how long it will take for you to finish? Half an hour. After that, Tiago and Sara and Nuno, that already played this game multiple times, after that happened, they were both a bit shocked, you know. Certainly Tiago, he was with a face like, just like this. And I was like, what's going on? And they were like, well, I think we just added 2 hours more to this game. And I was like, what? And it did. It did last 2 hours more just because Nuno ruined everything. So it was great. I almost win the game. First time playing Twilight Imperium. And I was this close of winning the game. But in the end, it was Nuno that won and it was deserved. But such a great game. I cannot wait to play it again. One recommendation though, if you go to a convention to play Twilight Imperium, do not plan anything else for that day. Just because you don't want to have the stress on your head that you might miss the other game because of Twilight Imperium. If you go play Twilight Imperium, just go all in on this one. And if you finish early, it's not a problem. You are in a convention. There will always be games to play and people available for you to play. And that's good because you get to know even more people. So make your agenda free, focus on Twilight Imperium, and that's it. And guys, it was an amazing experience. I totally recommend, if you like epic games, this is a game that you need to do it at least once. I did it and I cannot wait to play it again for 6-8 hours. There was a group, I think that it took them 10 hours or something, but they were 8, so it's understandable. So Twilight Imperium, epic, totally recommend it. Then the second game of that day was a playtest of a game called 12 Monks from Pedro Santos Silva, designer of Tram 28, and will be published by Spielworks next year in 2024. A game about building the monastery of Alcobaça. Nothing complex. And so basically you are, it's a dice placement game. So extra points for me because I love it. And I really like the mechanism that you choose your dice. So you don't roll your dice. You choose hidden your dice and you place them on the different actions. So all the actions have a place for you to place the dice. And the dice that has the highest number goes first and so on. So yeah, if you have a 5 and then someone places a 3, if there is a second person that places a 3, it will be after the 5. And so that will allow you to win maybe some bonus. Okay, so the person that goes first might be able to win some bonuses. But yeah, you have a lot of actions where you can really spread out and you are able to get more dices in the future rounds by evolving in a reputation, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it was reputation. If anybody knows, please go ahead and correct me in the comments. But overall, I really enjoy. Basically, you need to build up some land so that you are able to produce goods. Once those goods are produced, you can increase the values of those goods. You can get contracts to be able to deliver those goods, and once you deliver those goods, you will start building layers on the monastery. So this is a big overview, okay? The game is more complex than that, but this is a big overview to make it quick to explain. I played this game with Dirk, Karina and João from Clumsy Dice, and it was intense. It was intense. There was some action, and there was at some point like tension, but everything went fine. The monastery was built, and Pedro was there, present all the time. So thank you, Pedro, for explaining the game. And yeah, I really want to see. Excited again. Portuguese designer, man. I'm sorry, but I am very excited about games that are designed by Portuguese guys. So. Cannot wait to see it published by Spielworks and see how the final game will look like. So good luck, Pedro, on that, and we'll see what 2024 will bring. Then we go to Saturday, and the bitter taste of almost the end of LeiriaCon starts to be there. But we need to continue with a happy face. And how could I not be happy if I'm starting my Saturday by playing Bruxelles 1983. This is a game designed by Etienne Esperman. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm sorry, Etienne, my friend. Sorry if I destroyed your name. You can destroy mine. And will be published by Geek Attitude Games. I mean, this is a game that already exists. You might be able to get it in second hand, but one thing I can tell you, even though the art of the previous game is gorgeous, this one, it's a delight to watch. We played the 5-player game again with Rui, Joana, Orlando and Miguel Gonçalves, and Etienne was there to teach us the game. We played the 5-player game and it was awesome. Basically, you are architects from I don't know which time in Brussels, but you are there to develop Brussels, and you have different actions. You can acquire material, you can build houses, you can acquire you can produce artwork, you can sell that artwork, and you can make connections. So you can get influent people to help you on some of the things. Basically, the influent people just gives you an extra action. But you need to be careful with all the friends that you get, because by the end of the game, it will cost you a lot of money or points if you are not able to pay for those friends. Because yeah, I mean, being friends with fancy people it costs a lot of money. Cannot wait to play it and to play it again. So yeah, totally recommend, go try this one, get this one, because this one, it will be again, not a lot, probably not a lot of copies, it will run out, and after you'll have to wait for another reprint, or you'll have to be able to get it in the second-hand market. So this one is one to have on your collection. Some games are games to have in your collection, and this one, I loved it. So cannot wait to play it again. In the next one, you are going to say, Emmanuel, you played only epic games. Yes, I did. And it was awesome. The next one was another game that took 6 hours to finish. Mostly because me and my teammate were new to the game, and we were a little bit not sure if we should attack immediately or not. We should have. I played this game with Luis Romudas and his friend Ricardo, and we played a 3-player game. We started with Orlando Sa, but you know, I mean, he's a star, he's a VIP, so he needs to go and show off some things and explain his games and be present in conferences. So he had to leave, so we said, go, you will be with us in our thoughts. And he was, because this game has 2 sides, and you already know which game I'm talking about. I'm even going to show you, because I own it, and I was like so scared that I would not like this game, which just is going to be in my top 20 of all time. And yes, my friends, we are talking about War of the Ring. It was a blast. And thank you, Luis, again, man. Even though you consider that your explanation was not great, I would not learn it by the rule book, that's for sure. So thank you for taking your time on explaining it, and don't worry, man, it was a really good explanation and I totally understood. But this game is awesome. I mean, it was like no words. Me and Ricardo, we played the bad guys, and Luis and Orlando started playing the fellowship, the free people. And so me and Ricardo, he was Saruman, I was Sauron, and then Orlando had to leave, and Luis was controlling everything. And yeah, we should have attacked way sooner, because what happened was Luis was able to put all his armies in I don't know, in a siege, but no, it was like kind of different locations have these towers or whatever, and when we attack, the enemy attacks them, they can go into siege mode, so they are under siege. So every time you attack them, if you are not able to destroy them, you cannot attack them multiple times. You attack once, you eliminate who you have to eliminate. They can also eliminate guys from your army, and that's it. You need to go to a next action. So the combat is not going to be I hit, you hit, I hit, you hit. No, they are under siege. And so due to that, we lost a lot of members from our armies, and we were like starting to move from other important places, our armies, into those under siege places. What we didn't realize was that he was moving slowly with other characters, and he was taking ownership of our towers, which makes his some meter downstairs, I don't recall the name, makes it increase, and he only needed to get to 4 while we need to get to 10 for him to win. So he won the game, and it was totally deserved. It didn't reduce the happiness of playing this game for the first time. So the only thing I noticed, and this might bother some people, but it has to be said, the miniatures, even though they are great and a lot, they were quite annoying sometimes to move around the board, and I was wishing at sometimes, most of the time, that they were cubes. And please replace those white dice. I mean, what the hell? What are those? What are those? You have beautiful blue dices, beautiful red dices, and then you have those 5 dices like that. What is that? But anyway, great game. If you love Lord of the Rings, you will love this game. And if you don't know a lot about Lord of the Rings, I think it's actually okay, because Ricardo don't know if he's a huge fan like me and Luis from these movies, and I think he enjoyed. So I don't think you need to necessarily really be a big fan of Lord of the Rings to enjoy this game. This is a war game, and I mean, I loved it. I cannot wait to play it again. I cannot wait to play it again. This is a 2-player, 3 or 4-player game. 2-player, you play one versus the other, controlling each forces. 3 players, they recommend that one is the free people and the other 2 are the bad guys, which happened in this case. And with 2 players, someone is going to control Sauron, the other one Saruman, and in the free people, someone controls the Fellowship and the other one Rohan or something. I have no idea, but it works well. So totally recommend. War of the Ring, my man. This was a blast. And again, thank you, Luis, because the guy explained the game perfectly. And after all these intense sessions, I had to go play my dear friend João Quintela Martins' new game, which is Evora. And I played it with João himself and with Vilma from B de Brincar. And yeah, it's a game about building columns, okay? And you score points by having your color on the different lines, or on the different columns. You have the majority of your color and something like that. And then you have bonus cards that you can use to do a special actions, and you go around a track that you can only go like 3 positions to the front, and you need to choose on those 3 positions which action you want to do. So it works very well. It's also a fast-paced game. It goes really fast. Perfect family game. It's another one that I strongly consider to get to play with my daughter, because it's very simple to explain. It was explained, I think, in less than 3 minutes, so by João himself as well. And I didn't want to brag here, because I won by 1 point against João. And it hurts when it's only 1 point. I know it hurts. But you'll have to live with it, João. I'm sorry, man. So go check it out, totally recommend. This is Evora, designed by João Quintela Martins and published by boardgames. And finally, just to prepare to go to bed, we played with Carlos, Vilma and Orlando another game of Scout. Again, super easy to explain. It was in no time they understood it. It was great just to end this very intensive day. So again, I can recommend you Scout. Then comes to Monday, and you eat your last breakfast, and you start to do the checkout, and you start packing your bags, and you already have this feeling of goodbye. But still, there was a game that we needed to play, this time with board game lovers and Gamnificent, so André Santos, Fabio and Sara. And every time I play with these guys, there's always something to laugh about, you know. This time it was about fancy water. I'm not going to enter in details. I already explained that. But basically there is water for rich people. And by coincidence, I was drinking the water that the hotel was offering was water for fancy people or something like that. Very expensive water. I was like, so the whole discussion when we were playing this game was about fancy water. We played, and yes, It was so good that I had to get it. We played Flamme Rouge. This is a cycling game, 1 to 4 players. You can even play it alone. That is in BGG page. That is the rules for it alone. Designed by Asger Harding Granerud. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. And published by Lautapelit FI. By the way, Lautapelit FI. And then, I mean, you really want to trigger the OCD of people. Tell me that you did this on purpose to trigger the OCD of people. I mean, you have the name properly, the other way around. What? What is wrong with you guys? You want to kill people. And then, please, what is this? I don't want this in my cover. Make it a plastic, a sticker on the plastic, but no, I don't like this. Luckily for you, the game is great. It's a racing game. You are controlling a sprinter and a runner. So if you watch cycling, that you understand all of it. If you don't watch, basically there is a sprinter and a runner, and yeah, you control both of those. I don't watch cycling, find it pretty boring to be honest, but there is people like my father that really love it. And so I don't think you need to be a fan of cycling to enjoy this game, because I am not, and I loved it. The proof is I immediately got it. And so basically it's a racing game. You are controlling those sprinter and runners, and you draft cards. So you draft cards, and those cards will have the number of positions that you can advance. But what I love when games use the theme properly and they make sense. And what I love in this game is that if you become the first one in front of everybody, you will win exhaustion cards because you are getting tired. But the people behind you, they will move forward due to the aerodynamics. Okay, they call it something else in English, but and so since they are behind you, they don't have the friction with the wind, so they are not exhausted, tired, and they are able to move faster because they are behind you. So all of that, all those small things were really nice. It was very tight. Okay, it was very tight. In the end, we were quite close from each other, but it was a very nice Sunday morning game to say properly goodbye to LeiriaCon. So that was it for the games that I played at LeiriaCon, but I'm not going to stop the video until I show you which game I got. It's a game published by a Portuguese publisher and designed by a Portuguese duo, which is Roland Costa, and it's the game Moesteiro, designed by them and published by Pythagoras. This is a game, a 2-4 player game. It plays quite fast. And what I like about this game, this is the last game that I played in March. What I like about this game is that it's super simple. The rules are super easy to learn, but it feels like a heavy game without being a heavy game. You see, like it scratches a little bit that itch that I need to play a heavy game, but actually you play this game and it goes fast, makes sense, and it feels like you played something more heavy than a family game. And that's one of the characteristics that I really like about it. Besides that, the board is gorgeous. I really like the components are also very pretty. There's a video coming up about the unboxing, another one about the setup, a quick setup, and one about an overview of the rules just for you to understand the flow of the game. I simulated a 2-player game. I played it only once. I'm very curious to play it with my group to see how the different players interact. But already simulating, it was very interesting. So I cannot really tell a lot about Moesteiro for now, but for the simulation that I did, really enjoyed. And man, it's again Portuguese history, Portuguese designer, Portuguese publisher. So it's the perfect trinity, let's say. And yeah, that was it, guys, for LeiriaCon. Cannot wait for next year to go to LeiriaCon again and to do this, to have this adventure again and making new friendships, new connections, and because that's the most important. It's the people. The games are just an extra. Meeting all of you has been the best part of the hobby, and I want again to thank you, all of you, for being there and for being so nice and to receive me so well. So again, thank you for all of your support. And that was it also for March. Great month. And yeah, that's all I have to say. This video is huge. Let's cut it short. And thank you again. See you next time, guys. Have a nice one.